Today we're just going to run through a few ideas we have for expanding Mum and Dad's aquaponics system before it even gets fish. G'day folks, it's Rob here. I'm around at my parents today in their front yard aquaponics garden, or hopefully soon to be front yard aquaponics garden. Just talking to Mum and Dad, working out how we're going to set up the system, because it's going to expand before they even get fish into it. So I thought what I'd do is just bring you along and show you an updated set of ideas we have for the system. You folks on Patreon, this has changed from the clip that I've already posted for you guys a week or so ago. So I'll bring the camera down and I'll just walk through the layout, bring you up to speed, and then talk plumbing, how we plan on plumbing up the system. So when designing the system, I had to keep the layout in mind, so Mum could pretty much reach around to every part of the grow beds. So the one little cluttered point in the layout is this area here. There will be the radial flows filter where that garden chair is. So there is a little bit of space there that can't be accessed. That filter though is also going to offer protection for the hose line coming up from the pump down there and to the side of the fish tank there where it'll go off. So I had to keep that in mind, make sure that there was no points where, you know, kids had to run over or underneath pipe work. So that was another reason why I decided to block off this little area here. So, but as for access to the grow beds themselves, this one here has fairly good access. You have 3 full sides. Mum can pretty much will stand on, or around I should say, and reach into the middle of the grow bed. Bit hard to imagine without it being there, I know. And here we have a gap between these 2 grow beds, so she can get into the third one over the top of the sump tank. It just makes reaching every part of the different grow beds a lot easier if you have at least 3 sides worth of access. And this grow bed here is pretty much all 100% access, except for a little bit of bed overlap there. So around here, the pipe work, or I should say the hose work, coming from the pump won't change much. What I will be doing though is splitting off a flow or a line from there diagonally under the bed, and then that will go around into the fish tank as I mentioned before. This hose work will still come up here. We'll have a couple of T's coming off so we can run the hose work out to this corner over there, bell siphon there, drain back into sump tank, and another one that'll go around that leg so there'll be no tripping hazard there, diagonally underneath the grow bed, up and then into that corner, bell siphon here to go out. So the last thing I wanted was, you know, drain lines or hoses that people had to step over. This way it will be fairly neat and tidy. As for the flow rate, well, I am hoping with the 9,000 litre an hour pump that I will have enough volume coming through to the fish tank to replace the water at least 1.5 to 2 times every hour. With the grow beds, I'd like at least 2,000 litres of water to come through here. So basically, so they're passing through the biofilter, so all the nitrogen process can be fulfilled and we don't have ammonia freely running through the system. Just around the front of the sump tank, not much will change here, other than Dad moving his tomatoes and the other potted plant down there. So there's a clear pathway between the sump tank and the fish tank and up to the back of the radial flow filter. As I said before, this pump will pretty much stay in this side here. So the fish tank will have a lid on it and it will open from the front here, and there'll be a hinge at the back. Mainly because, as you can see, with the shadow from the camera against the wall there, the westerly afternoon sun's going to come in if it will open this side and end up with a whole heap of algae along the back there. So I think if it opens this way, it'll have the house blocking any sunlight in, the direct sunlight. So it'll just keep the algae issue down to a degree. On this side here, you know, Dad can have some extra shade cloth coming over the top or something like that if he wants. I like to have the tanks open a fraction just so the fish can get used to people moving around them. So just down in here, having the radial flow filter at this point here will mean that it'll stop little feet from running through the system. It'll also give protection, like I said, with the hose work coming around here, then up on the wall of the tank, and then down here to where the inlet will be. So yeah, that's a bit of a layout on how the system's going to go. I will be doing an actual clip on how I'm building the radial flow filter for it and how it's all going together with the plumbing and the hose work and all that. Because I've already had a couple of people ask how can they expand on their basic chop and flip that they've built. So hopefully it'll help you folks out. I mean, we do have custom stands here. Normally people use cinder blocks or Besser bricks and sleepers, but we had some pipe that we've ended up recycling and turned into some pretty nifty little stands. Just to give you a bit of a look at some of the plants Mum's got in here at the moment, it's mainly just lettuce and a couple of beans, just bush beans. We popped them in, she popped them in the other day, and we noticed there's a bit of mite damage on them. So like us, she's got a little bit of a spider mite issue going on, but she was going to treat them with a bit of a soapy wash. Hopefully that'll knock them on the head. And there's lettuces dotted around. Some have self-sown in the bed from seed heads in here from the last lot, and others Mum's transplanted in, like a couple of these small ones just from the wicking bed over there. So she's had a few self-sown around the place. So as a whole, I think they're pretty happy with it, especially considering there's no fish and they're just popping a little bit of fish food in there every day. So we'll be posting a couple of little update vlogs along the way as this system goes together. So you can come along and suss those clips out when they're posted. All you need to do is hit that little subscribe button down there and you'll be sent a notification once the clips are posted here to YouTube. I won't be making it as a how-to as such. I'll just be covering different aspects of it, I think. But I will be doing one on the radial flow chair or filter, mainly because I've only got clips on smaller versions, and I'd like to do a larger one and just talk about retention times a little bit more, because it's a question I get asked a fair bit. So I do hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a sneak peek at what could be happening with the system. Plans might change before it actually gets knocked together. We'll just wait and see. I do hope you're all well and happy and your gardens and aquaponics are booming, and I'll catch you next clip. Cheers folks, have a good one.